Welcome back to another episode of Who Should You Choose, the video series where I go through the prior videos, questions, and comments and help you with your HUT lineup decisions. Apologize for the delay in Who Should You Choose videos. I recorded one right before I left for Montreal, so you guys had an episode to watch. And then obviously I was away in Montreal, so everything's back to normal now, and we'll carry these on throughout the week. And again, let me know what you think about them, and if you ever want to come watch me record them live, I usually do it in the morning. But if you want to come watch me stream throughout the afternoon, 2 p.m. Eastern time on twitch.tv/nosleeves12 is when I go live. So if you're working or you got a long drive home and you want to see the content, all that stuff, be sure to hop in the streams. Let's go over today's questions. Because I did this so long ago, guys, I'm going to do kind of the most recent questions just because the other ones were so long ago that I don't know if they would still be super relevant. So again, I apologize. We'll be back to normal while I go through all the top rated questions and like that in the next few videos. But that being said, Peter says, "Hey Sleeves, thanks for all the great content. Wanted your thoughts. I have a pretty formidable, as you could call, God Squad. Hurt my back at work, so I've had an abnormal amount of time to play the game. Is it worth it to make the 91 Rantanen, or will 88 overalls likely be used for the next MSPs? Here's my lineup. He's got McKinnon, Sorelli, McDavid, Hayduk, Crosby, Kucherov, and then Heisey, Larkin, Gretzky, Icon, Garland, Fantasy with Messier, Sakic. Might throw Gensel Fornations in after he upgrades and moves Sakic at center. And then he's got Makar and Taves, Ekblad and Hughes, ASP and Niedermeyer with Lidstrom's Icon on the bench. Holy smokes, what a squad. The Four Nations event, I talked about this a little bit in the event breakdown video that I just did. The issue with the Four Nations event is that it has a lot of great concepts. It's just the values and things like that have absolutely demolished it. Like the clear misuse of the B&D feature, we're going to call it a feature because it was something that was not in the game prior, and it allowed them to do some unique things, giving back account bound cards because those wouldn't impact the market or future trade-ins because they aren't untradeable, right? Like they aren't able to be used in sets. This event and how they are, there used to be an economy that ran in the background, and I don't know if it's still there. It might be an economy that was made up by EA, and it determined values. And okay, so if it requires this many 86s, it's worth X, value, right? This is just two of the prior overalls, trade those in to get one higher overall. And when you back in the next gen event, when 286s were far cheaper, because an 86 overall is just inherently far cheaper than a 91, even at the time of the game being released. Like inflation's not the right word, but you know what I'm saying? Like when an 86 at the time that it was released was the highest rated Master Set player item, and now 91s are, but the value doesn't work the same. It's still far more expensive to do the 91s. And the big issue is when you traded in two 86 overall next gen cards for one of the 97s, 87s, Kaprizov, or a Barzal. The thing is, Kaprizov, that's team related. That one, in my opinion, wasn't worth the value at all. But Barzal was such a good card that I was like, okay, this at least made you question. This was like, for example, in no world, even if you were a diehard Finn, would you trade in Heiskanen and Rantanen, two of the most popular players, for UC Soros in Hockey Ultimate Team? Even if you are a pure offline player, that goaltender, never. What should have happened is you should have made Rantanen the 92. Okay, then you can at least justify, because the Rantanen card at 91 and arguably is better than all the other ones. He's just big, he's fast, his shot is nuts, and I think that that's just a major issue. They should have given you back both of the 91s account bound because they were very expensive, or at least one, right? And it's just really hammered the event, right? I always think of it from a no money spent perspective, because I'm with you guys that like I can't grind the game so much so that you can get both for free. And I understand that a majority of the player base is the same, right? And it's just it always blows my mind when they don't take the casual players at least slight input and thought context in, because this was nuts. In your situation, sorry to go on a bit of a rant there. Like, your team is so good, unless you love Mikko Rantanen as a player, I probably wouldn't, man. 88's, who knows? I think the next event, which is Sharpshooters, which more than likely will have Austin Matthews, right? And, so that's something. Is probably going to do 88s because they're not going up to 92s. It's usually a month-long thing, so I don't know. I'd probably wait unless you love Miko Rantanen as a player. Hey, Sleeves. I started the game a little bit after Christmas and was kind of thrusted into the new style of HUD events with this year. First event I could remember getting involved with was Gallery of Greats, but I caught it at the tail end when I got really started. Therefore, I had no ability to make any of the MSPs. Then I went heavy into the 2000s event and Team of the Year. Although I had very limited resources, my goal was to beef my team up as much as I could so that I could compete online and not get smoked or have major FOMO. Still working on that one. I'm debating on a couple paths to go down since I started later, and I want to continue to get my team better. Here's my team now. He's got Team of the Year base McKinnon, the Ultimate McDavid, and XP Larkin. He's got the Fantasy Line, RIP. Hughes, Four Nations event, Team of the Year Kucherov, and then he's got the Hayduk, Barkov, Bratt, Marchenko, Miller, Raquel. With the 2000 Solani. Team of the Year, Makar, Hughes, Breezewald, Taves, Ekblad, Dahlin. Your decor is fantastic. I'm currently trying to save up coins to get team builders when back to get Linden and Foot. In the meantime, I'm considering trying to build Fox's X Factor, Nylander X Factor, Gretzky, Lemieux, Power Up Icon, or Power Up Icon. Was possibly going to try for Four Nations Ranted, but I have to see what resources I currently have to do so. Brother, I don't know how you're coming up with all this. Was even thinking about buying some Gallery of Greats MSPs off the market, but I'm not liking that idea too much. In your opinion, is there a best path to take given my team and situation at this time? Thanks for all the content. I'm looking forward to the next year's game and following your guides from the jump. Well, I appreciate that, man. I'm trying to give you the right. So, chasing event MSPs is a dangerous game because you will eventually they won't be on your team. Like, they do not upgrade, and unless they have something that allows the longevity to last a long time. So Gallery of Greats, for example, having free zone abilities, they'll be on your team for a very long time. That being said, the Gretzky Lemieux chase is pretty cheap compared to what it used to be. Because cards you can get for roughly under 2,000 coins. I'm going to do the math real quick on that. Let's say you get every single card for 2,000. You need 24 for one, and then times that by 12. It's 576,000 coins if you bought every 76 and above item to get Gretzky Lemieux. And why I think that's valuable is at least at some point you will get an upgrade, right? Whereas, I mean, to make a 92, let's say, it costs more than that, right? You could get Rantanen for around 3 or maybe even under 300,000 coins. What I would do is every event, it appears you're going to grind. Every event, what I would do is do everything you can to get a free MSP. They usually give out enough to come pretty close, right? And if you follow that, your team will quickly become very good, right? And then what you can do is sprinkle in the chase cards. Now, understand that this year, chase cards are the worst they've ever been, and it has been my philosophy, for the last few months that they are just trying to eliminate year-long chase cards. I truthfully believe that they just won't be in the game next year if the content team stays on, and it just is what it is. So one way, if you want to hyper focus on getting Gretzky and Lemieux, is every event, if they follow the same path and they have those collectibles, you'll see like the 4 or 5 collectible trade in for like 476 and above items or whatever it is. That could be useful for you because you can really drop the price of making Gretzky and Lemieux. Obviously, you're missing out on the MSPs. But unless there's like god tier MSPs, you should be okay with that, right? So I usually release a ranking video for every single event, and I'll tell you what my S tier cards are. Those would be cards where when the event ends, I would regret not having them. So pay attention for those. I will have one for week 2s of this event. Again, I was just late because I was in Montreal for the Four Nations event. But any of the ones like A and below, they're good cards, but probably not ones you're going to miss making. But you mentioned saving up coins for team builders. That's a dangerous choice, man. Because 576,000 coins, right? Let's just say you bought every single 76 and above item for Gretzky or Lemieux, right? Or 240,000 coins, if memory serves, gets you an 89. You need 2 of them, so 480K to make Linden. While Linden is far better than Gretzky and Lemieux right now, he won't be, and you need 2 to trade in. You see what I'm saying? Linden is by far the best center in the game right now that isn't a fantasy item, I think. And it's just a dangerous game chasing them. I would only do it with those packs, though, if you were going to do it. Update. I got Rantanen. Lines are looking different now, but it seems like I'm heavy on left-handed wingers and not as deep on the right side. I'm still thinking of sticking to my plan for the chase cards, but not sure given I need any righties. Wait for the next event. Like the sharpshooter event might come with like a crazy good right-hander. That's what I would do. Bonjour, Sleeves. Hope your jam is doing well. Long time viewer, first time commenter. I'm in a bit of a pickle with this Four Nations event. Should I go for Miro and Miko, or is it worth chasing the big fish in Sydney? I'm Canadian, a huge Crosby fan, but I've never really enjoyed using his cards in game. I'm a mid Div 1 player, usually getting 16 to 70 wins in champs, and I'm currently have Ekholm and Linden. Would grabbing the two Finns be the better move, or should I consider making Soros instead? Anyways, love the video. My man, if you're in Division 1, Soros is off the table. I mean, if you can still get 16 to 17 wins with UC Soros in net, good God, that's incredible. I would not do that, though, because, again, the Soros trade-in might be the worst offer that they have ever released. Losing two of, in my opinion, the best cards from the entire event for Soros is just a brutal trade-in. So, no, I would not do that. If you're a fan of Crosby, always make your favorite players. The problem here is that I don't believe the 92s are in packs, so you can't even get them in the auction house, which is just a frustrating way to go. God, man, I wish they just gave you back the cards BND. I would say go Crosby, man. It's going to cost you a ton. There will be a better Crosby card at some point, though. Sleeves, a lineup question. My lineup is Mac, Sorelli, McDavid, Hull, Larkin, Gretzky. My question is, what do you think my biggest weakness is, or where should I be focusing on my team to get better things? So his decor, he's got Makar and Taves, Hedman, and Letang, OEL, and Ekblad. Left-handed defense, if you didn't get Ekholm or Keller, right, it is definitely the weakest position, I think, in the game in terms of just like the god tier depth, right? So left-handed D is probably where I'd put the focus. Miro would be a great MSP to make here. I think your D core or your forward core is fine. I would probably go with trying to make Miro Heiskanen. I like how the changes you would make to Hut, Unlimited XP grind, team collections, etc. are already in MLB Diamond Dynasty. On topic, Titans, Thornton, and Miller, 2 open lineup spots at C. Which one at right wing? I think they both have roughly the same. I'd probably have Miller on the wing. We should be able to be engaged exchange the XP in for coins. Yeah, I agree 100%. Bonjour from Montreal. I absolutely love Civilization. One more turn. Hope they fix the bugs quick. Just wondering what jersey you're wearing on Saturday. Go Canada. I did rock a Four Nations Team Canada jersey. I got blank. Let me know in the comments. I have a pretty hot take when it comes to jerseys as I've gotten older. Obviously, I have a lot of jerseys. I only display them though. I don't think. If anyone in Toronto, I listen to Real Kipper and Born Daily. I love listening to it. They have a guy on there, their producer, Sam McKee, who's a dire Leaf fan and a really funny addition to the show. But he said something the other day, and I totally agreed with it. He won't buy a jersey of someone that's younger than him. And I 1,000% agree. Like, to wear, right? So my options, I think, were Doughty and Crosby that are older than me. I'm 35. And when I got to Montreal, like, the amount of money that the NHL made from this event, I can't even fathom. First of all, the Bell Center is the biggest arena in the sport, maybe behind the United Center. I can't remember. They're very close, over 20,000. They had over 1,000 people standing room only. The cheapest ticket for Canada USA was like $650, right? Lower bowl was $1,900 a piece, and every jersey was $250. Every single kiosk was sold out by the second period. It was insane. But yeah, I think that hockey has, as I've gotten older, I used to think it was lame if you wore a blank jersey. Hockey jerseys are sweaters. Like, you get a nice pair of jeans with the buffalo goat head, the black one. Like, I just think that's a sick look, you know? So I don't know. That might be my take. Let me know your take on jerseys down below. But yeah, just something that I've always thought about. Glitch question. Love the videos. Brother, you are the man. I have a question about a glitch I just came across in Champs yesterday. I was up 5-3 in the third with about 12 minutes left when my opponent tripped me, and then the clock just stopped and stuck on the delay penalty animation. Nobody could control after the puck. After about 15 minutes of waiting and knowing my opponent wasn't going to get back out before me because he would get a free win if I got out first. I just got out of the game. Have you heard of this glitch before? No, but sometimes there's like things that'll happen where like if you accidentally make a line change and it's like a weird animation, it shows a cutscene. These are like the almost impossible to reproduce glitches. You just experienced a bad, like a rough one. I apologize, but just nothing you can really do about it. I'm sorry, but you were so wrong about Ice Tilt. Ice Tilt is the bell curve to keep the game even. The better you are at the game, the less you will notice the Ice Tilt. If I have a full Team of the Year team against an old base team, the game will balance their speeds to keep it even. If you are a really good player, you can play through it, but a Division 4 player like me who has a stacked team will clearly notice it. This one is hard. We did like a whole series on Ice Tilt like about a month ago, and I don't know how to explain this correctly. So you're saying that good players won't notice it because they can play through it. I'll tell you why that I disagree to an extent about Ice Tilt in the way that we all think that it exists. If Ice Tilt existed, then the worst teams would always win. But I think we only notice it when we lose, right? But when you win, you don't take into account that your team was just better. I'll say this. For anyone that has 99 Pareko, okay? If you've been using 99 Pareko since the start, he is the most noticeable card in the game. Sorelli too, any of the 99 fantasy items. There is nothing that comes close. Like, there is no card that can keep up with him, and it is simply just the attributes are so high. One thing this year, however, is you could have a great team, but because progression is so low, they could have a worse team, but the separation isn't as high, right? Now, the one thing I would say to you is next time that you want to type or you think that Ice Tilt was the reason that you lost, I would love it if you hit the PlayStation button and recorded your last 30 minutes. Go back and watch the game, and the one thing I want you to notice is your stamina. So find a section of the game where you don't understand why your Team of the Year McDavid is getting caught, but pay attention specifically to the stamina, because we don't pay attention to stamina as much as just the player. Right. And so then what happens is when we get caught, we're like, how is this 99 skating McDavid getting caught? And we don't realize that the stamina is so brutal. Right. And though the thing I could see being in the game, guys, is something in the last minute. Ever since I've been a kid, shots that go in the last minute to artificially make the game more exciting has just been something that I would always like, I just assume. Right. Like, it has just always seemed like that. You could defend all game long, but in the final minute, it seems like something always goes in. That wouldn't surprise me. But a full-on rubber band throughout the entire game, I don't even have faith in to be able to code that, right? It could, but it's something that we'll never, really be able to, prove, essentially. Everyone complaining about how short the XP path is. Meanwhile, between work and my life, I don't think I'll have time to finish it at all. Obviously, everyone's context is going to be different. I think that this season, the majority of players were able to complete it. Like, I would love to see the completion percentage. It's got to be a lot higher. I think that the main thing is they need to make this stuff repeatable at the end. I finished the XP path. I didn't play the game at all that much. Obviously, I played it more than a lot of the casual players. But that being said, there's nothing to do once you're done it, right? And then it's like, okay, but you could work through. If you do the weekly objectives, man, you got to come pretty close, right? There needs to be a balance of the hardcore grinders and the players that just want to be able to complete it and play it regularly. Again, if Ice Tilt is a thing, then having a jacked up team isn't really going to matter, right? So if people are able to get unlimited rewards by grinding the game a ton, it's not like their team is going to really dictate how much they are if Ice Tilt is really a thing. So always something to keep in mind, right? What the hell do I do with Four Nations tokens from the community event? So, you would have had to pick one of those Four Nations cards. Taves, Rupe Hintz. I can't remember the other two off the top of my head. There's one for every nation, right? You can upgrade those every tier with those tokens, right? So Taves was the Canadian one. I got them all the way up to 91. So that's what I would recommend. So, All right, guys, that's going to do it for today's Who Should You Choose. I'll be back again tomorrow with a regular one. Thank you guys again for watching. I'll see you next time. Have a good one.